Titans are 100% the bad guys, and if you're ever in doubt, check out this colossal construct directly from the beta they planted in order to wipe out their own, just in case they started getting free will and started becoming disobedient. They've created mechanisms to destroy the planet. They ripped out a world tree, the one in Khaz'Algar. They tried to wipe out their own servants on multiple occasions, and most interestingly, they might have placed the entire world soul of Azeroth into a giant prison, as can be seen from the logos. It has been confirmed they're going to be coming in person in The Last Titan, and they're definitely not coming to Azeroth to save us. Soon, we will learn what really happened between the Pantheon and Sargeras, and how they might have imprisoned our world, and who these guys really are. Actually playing WoW on your phone is possible with Awesome, this video is sponsored. You can not only check in on your characters, but you can do things like pet battles and even fully play the game. Awesome allows you to control a computer through your phone completely free, available for Windows, iOS, and Android. It's super easy to use. Check out my link in the description, download the PC and the phone app, and just simply connect it. The free version is great and you can control a desktop, transfer files and such, but the real deal is the game version with custom keyboards for various games other than just WoW, and you can enjoy AFK gaming at any time, anywhere with sound. Make sure to use my code DORON to get 7 days completely free only for the first 200 people. They also got a smart lock to turn off your PC at any time, as well as hot sales with up to 40% off on pro and game versions. Check out Awesome. So, if you've been following the lore these past few years, you might have realized that the Titan lore started changing drastically. Shadowlands was really the main time where they started outright hinting that the Titans may not be so good, that they're not who we think they are, and then in Dragonflight we started getting even more obvious hints, but now, in War Within, we had gotten up to the point where the Titans are literally outright attacking us, which is quite a confirmation, and in the final expansion of the saga, these guys are going to come in person, almost certainly as villains. Now, while parts of this are definitely a retcon, that isn't entirely true, as the Titans were never really the good guys. From the moment we could encounter them, they had been ambiguous. Our first real encounter with the Titans was in Ulduar, where they had put in a guy that was literally just planning to blow up the entire planet if old god corruption spread, which definitely showed us they don't really care about us whatsoever. Then later in Cataclysm, in Oldham, we could discover the Forge of Originations, which was literally this world-destroying machine. The only time we really kinda saw them as the good guys was in Legion, where they had imprisoned Sargeras and we were around, but that's more like we helped them in their goal than them protecting us. The entire Titans good ordeal was really coming from the dwarves, as they just started learning about their heritage. They learned that they're their creators, and then we realized almost all playable races are Titanic in origin, even the orcs, so we started seeing them as something akin to gods. However, all that started changing when we realized that these guys are literally attacking their own followers that don't want to be mindless slaves. In Dragonflight, we got info that the lead Titan Keeper Odin didn't like the fact that the Titan Forge started getting minds of their own. Then we learned a group of them on Evaloran had outright rebelled, which caused them to start sending multiple expeditions to completely annihilate these guys, but all these expeditions failed. Then we started learning that they had essentially brainwashed the dragons and the eggs through their own order water, which is why the new aspects are blessed by just Azeroth, and even the dragons abandoned their creators. We learned that Galakrond was a mistake of their own experiments. Then we started learning about ancient history and how there was a world tree in the past that the lead Titan guy aman'thul didn't like, so he just ripped it out because it wasn't order. And now, here we are in Khaz'Algar, where this world tree was. Now, Khaz'Algar leads us to literally the hint that these guys are evil, so if you're not convinced by this point, just check out this info from the beta. So, we discovered new Titanforge servants, the new playable Earthen that had been sent in the ancient past to seal this rift of the destroyed world tree. Over time, as thousands and thousands of years passed, they started developing their own culture, their own thing. Essentially, they divided into two groups, the Oathsworn and the Unbound. The Oathsworn, as their name says, are still following the Titan edicts, while the Unbound consider themselves free, also as their name says. Now, as Xal'atath and the Nerubian army are threatening to destroy the entire planet here, they can no longer be blindly following the Titan edicts, and through the questlines, the Earthen decide to smash the Titan console to officially break the edicts. Now here, there is an actual cutscene that is not available in the game yet, but we can see the description of the cutscene and we know what happens. As soon as this does happen, a gigantic, and I mean a gigantic construct rises directly from the sea and starts going towards us to the shore. As the cinematic says, the Titans don't take kindly to disobedience. A gigantic guy called the Colossal Titan Construct becomes a boss we have to fight, and he is literally out for blood to wipe everyone out. Now keep this in mind, this is the first time in a long time we were outright attacked by Titan affiliated minions following the Order agenda. However, this implication is even more interesting. The Titans literally planted this guy and hid him somewhere in the sea so that no one can see him in order to completely destroy their own servants if they decide to do something different. It's like they didn't want a new Avalorant to happen, so they just kinda put this mechanism in. These Oathsworn guys have been following their edicts for as long as Titan Order has been on Azeroth, and the moment they decided to forsake them in order to save Azeroth for a bigger goal, they're now marked for destruction despite being loyal since forever. If this doesn't tell you that these guys only care, and I mean only care about themselves, then I really don't know what other confirmation you really need. The big theory that has been going around, possibly one of the most interesting Warcraft speculation theories, is that they had actually imprisoned the entire world soul of Azeroth, which is marked by the last Titan logo. It seems kind of evident with the first expansion. The War Within shows the world cracking, in Midnight we can see it corrupted by the Void and the Void Winds, and in the last Titan it seems like all that is cleared out and we can see the prison Azeroth is in. The reason we think it is a prison is because it looks literally exactly like the prison made for the primal incarnates from Dragonflight, the runes, the shapes and everything. Azeroth is supposed to be elemental in nature, so this might have been the exact same thing, just much larger, planet scale larger. We also recently learned from the beta that the moment Sargeras had hit Azeroth, that crystal started changing into the Void, aiding Zealothat. My theory has been that this was not really a message to us, but the Titans. Sargeras knew this would help the Void, and he might have wanted to send the Titans a message that there is no other way to defeat the Void other than the Burning Crusade. See, the major Titan event, the Sargeras split, has literally only been about the Void Lords and their differences in strategy. Despite painting Sargeras as crazy, the Titans are also crazy in their own way. Everything we have learned so far about the Titans implies they're spreading their own order through countless mechanisms, prisons, constructs, machines in order to keep things according to their own nature, and going as far as brainwashing the denizens so they can believe the same thing. I mean, we have seen this on countless occasions. Sargeras saw the Void corruption firsthand. He had to split an entire planet in half in order to deny the Void Lords a new power source, and he was convinced there is no other way. These mechanisms and all this BS is literally just masking the problem. Everything needs to be destroyed as the universe is inherently flawed by the Void, and as you may know, they came to a little bit of a disagreement. Now, this bit here is not my speculation at all. Check out the Dragonflight updated dialogue from the Orc Hermit we can see in Incilatus. When he talks about the sword similar to the sword of Sargeras, he says Sargeras was far too masterful a tactician to choose this target by chance. He didn't hit Incilatus by chance. As I said, I think that Sargeras knew that hitting this spot would trigger the Void Crystal that would doom Azeroth to the corruption and force the Titans to act, and I think it happened through the secret underground tunnels that you can check out in my previous videos. There is something really interesting going on with the logo and everything. However, the real info is on the Titan themed weapon, where he says that the Titans only care about their precious order and would sacrifice everything, even their own followers, for it. As you may know, this perfectly lines up with the Ridicron and what he told us on multiple occasions, that we will see firsthand how little the Titans care for us, even though we are their creations. And I think he's 100% correct. I mean, the Earthen that served them directly were supposed to be wiped out by this construct just because they disobeyed this single mission. However, the Hermit also says that even Sargeras had the exact same mindset, the exact same cold logic to his vision, and that the Titans are exactly the same. They only differ in method, but not the goal. Be careful that you do not blindly become a part of their plan. So the entire point is that Sargeras still cared about order, but the whole Burning Crusade thing was a disagreement on strategy in how to defeat the Void Lords. I feel like once Midnight happens and the Void Lords do invade and they win, the Titan Pantheon may be convinced and they may realize there really is no other way and that Sargeras was right. Remember Oldar? I mean, they created a mechanism to destroy the planet if corruption got bad enough. Isn't that pretty much exactly what Sargeras' goal was. He just wanted to split the entire planet in half anyway. I think if they realize Void is going to win, they are going to fight. However, I don't think it's gonna be about the Void, but about the world soul prison that may be happening behind the scenes. I think they might have imprisoned Azeroth so that they can be the ones in control of this gigantic power source, and that so others can be after it. We might realize this, we might try to free Azeroth once we defeat the Void, and then we're going to see the true face of the Titans. I think they would rather destroy us all than let Azeroth be free. Now, here's the thing, I think there is going to be a split with the actual pantheon, just like the Sargeras one, and we might get some of them on our side. They're not all going to be bad. This comes from the creation of Eluna here, the first world tree on Azeroth, but as we learned, it was Elune and the Titan Eonar that made this, but the lead guy, aman'thul, had it ripped out. Eonar obeyed his command at this point, but we have definitely learned that the Titans nor their constructs are really a hive mind. We have a ton of races that have entirely free will, that are Titanic in origin, and we have the strongest Titan, Sargeras, doing his own thing. We also have the Titan Keeper Tyr being kind of a good guy, at least for now. So despite being order beings, they're definitely prone to rebellion and prone to free will and doing their own thing. I'm thinking once the Titans do come to Azeroth, aman'thul is going to be leading the crazy fanatical side, while Eonar or another Titan might join our side or might side with Elune that is going to be protecting us as the beings of life. Also, this kind of seems in line with everything else Blizzard is doing. It seems like there is always a fanatical and a more normal aspect to every cosmological force of the chart. We have the Death Realm and our allies in the Death Realm, and then we have the fanatical Jailer and the Denatrius. It also seems like there is a fanatical version of the Light with Yrel, as well as a more benevolent one. It seems like some Void Lords are after Azeroth, some could be our allies, so this could perfectly line up with the Titans. Some are fanatical, some are Sargeras tier fanatical, and some might not be ready to break all ethics in order to push their agenda. So based on all the info, the Titans are 100% going to be the villains. It's just unclear to what extent, if all of them are going to be bad and what their ultimate goal is going to be, but Last Titan is potentially going to be the most interesting expansion story-wise. Thanks for watching. Check out the insane underground tunnel network under Azeroth by clicking on the screen, and check out my video on ancient Greek colonies in Spain by clicking on the screen as well. See you next time.